welcome back. I'm so excited to spend some time with you all, and I hope you're all doing really, really well. It's been a little bit of time and I'm ready to cook, and it's getting to be really, really warm where I live. So soups and stews are looking like they're not my favorite thing, but I still want something warm and nurturing and very easy digestible. So I've been making this for my clients quite a bit, and I'm really excited to share it with you all. This recipe is very easy, very minimal ingredients. You can add some extra things like usual if you are feeling a little bit more like inclined towards this ingredient or this ingredient, but for the most part, this is all you're going to need. And I'm going to walk you through all of the ingredients that you're going to need and chat about all of the things. So I'm happy to dive into this recipe with you all. And if you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and do so. And if you are new here, I'm so excited. This is where we do postpartum chats, and I cook with you, preparing your postpartum freezer or fridge full of all of the goodies you're going to need for a healing, nourishing postpartum. But if you have been here before, I'm so excited. Welcome back. Let's dive into this recipe. Let's dive into all the ingredients you're going to need for this recipe. Here is the roundup. We have some red lentils. So I have my red lentils. Those are ready to go. I just need to rinse them and prepare them for about 15-20 minutes on the back of the stove. And then I have my cloves. So I have 3 cloves here, 3 or 4 cloves in here. And I have some fennel seeds. And again, all the measurements and the recipe will be included in the description below. Ginger. So we have some fresh ginger. We have garlic, fresh garlic. We have coconut milk, shredded coconut. We also have cilantro, and then we have our beloved ghee butter, so that's here too, and spinach. So that's the roundup right there of all the things you're going to need, and one big pot, which we have here, and you should be good to go. You can always omit and change around things. I've made this with green lentils before too, and that's yummy. So play around, see how it feels for you. Ingredients that I didn't chat about earlier was the turmeric, fresh cardamom pods that I cracked open. I worked a little bit in grinding them up. So anyways, we have all of these ingredients, including those ingredients. Okay, you're going to want to take your lentils, and I'm doing only a cup of lentils, and I'm going to give them a really good wash. And I already see lots of things hanging out in there, like little pieces of plastic. So always want to be mindful of that and just giving them a good rinse. And making sure that you check all of the things, like why is there a piece of plastic in there? We don't know. Do a nice scrub before we start making our dal. So I thought today that we could chat about Sitz baths. We often hear quite a bit of Sitz baths, and especially related to if you're dealing with hemorrhoids or have dealt with hemorrhoids in the past. So I hear that a lot of individuals wanting to learn about Sitz baths, but then being really overwhelmed because there's so many different herbs, there's so many different concoctions and things that you can actually use, and what is actually safe, and what is actually beneficial. I think that comes up quite a bit. It's like, what is actually beneficial that you're not wasting time. But I have some interesting things for you to think about and interesting shifts to have for postpartum. If you can work on those things now during pregnancy, I think they'll be your best friend. So we're going to chat all about Sitz baths. We're going to chat about the benefits, but also how valuable it is to really get our mind out of thinking that everything has to have a benefit. And I think we've kind of lost the romanticizing and just enjoying things in life. We oftentimes think that everything has to have a benefit, or it's not worth our time. And why can't we just truly enjoy something for the sake of just enjoying it? Like bubble baths. Bubble baths. We all love bubble baths for the most part. And we do it just because it's the act of doing a bubble bath. Or laying in the sun feels so good and warm for our bodies. We get so lost in the things needing a benefit to them. Sometimes just the act of it or the art of it. Anyways, let's get these lentils in here because it's going to take us about 15 minutes. 4 cups of water. I just measure full of the large mason jars for 4 cups. Love myself some spring water. If you haven't switched over to spring water, highly suggest because it is so nourishing and hydrating for them. So let's add the 4 cups of water. Love a good spring water for how hydrating it is. So if you're using like a filtered water or like refrigerator water, maybe just check in and see, are you getting all the minerals you need? What is in your water? I love a good spring mineral water, and it's really worth me investing in that more than anything. I feel like more than even nourishing foods is a good mineral water. So we have that in there. 1 teaspoon of turmeric. 1. 2. Was anyone into golden lattes like crazy? I was so into golden lattes, kind of scary, and now I can't even touch one. Like now I never want to see one again. Like I just can't even, I don't, no. I love a curry. I love so many things with turmeric, but cannot see a golden latte for the rest of my life. I think I'll be completely happy. Overdid those one specific fall. I drank them to no end, and now I can't even drink them at all. So that's a little frustrating, but anyways, okay. So let's get this on the stovetop. I'm gonna have it cooking for about 15 minutes, bring it to boil, and then I'm going to simmer, and then we'll be good to go with the lentil portion. What is a Sitz bath? That basically, Sitz bath is a basin that of water or warm water, and you can put nothing in it. You can have it plain. You could also have it with herbs. You could have it with Epsom salt, so you can kind of play with what sounds good there for your body in the moment. But I love to do a warm Sitz bath basin in the toilet. There's ones that are on Amazon. I'll link one down below, and you can check it out in the description. But I love a good Sitz bath basin that goes into the toilet. Ideally, I would not want it plastic, but that's the only option there really is, unless you wanted to use an old pot or something that you feel comfortable washing later on that you're willing to soak in, that maybe you don't use in the kitchens, just for like Sitz baths only or foot baths. That's not plastic. That's more like cast iron or something like that. But I really, really love a good basin that can go in the toilet, and usually unfortunately that's plastic for the most part. We don't want to heat up plastic, but maybe putting lukewarm water might be the way for you. Look into that. Another option again would be using cast iron or like an old pot and putting it on the ground, filling up with warm water and sitting in it. You don't want the water to be hot. You want the water to be nice and warm, and it can feel really good to sit in Epsom salt. Sometimes I'll do a chamomile or a lavender soak. In my course, I share more about Sitz baths and the recipes that I use for Sitz baths. So you can look into that if you're interested in enrolling in my course. I will put more information in the description below. But I really just love keeping it very simple. And sometimes that can look like warm water. You can do the Sitz bath. It really depends on how your birth went, where your body's at. So always make sure that you're cleared for a bath. Cleared for a bath, then usually a Sitz bath is totally fine. You can even share the word Sitz bath with your provider, your midwife, or your doctor, and most times they'll explain to you if you can or can't do it. We got the garlic here. I have 3 cloves of garlic. I will say I was going to do potato, but the more I'm thinking about it, I think since it's so hot outside, I'm going to omit the potato. It feels a little heavy, and we're just going to stick to this. But you can definitely cook potato on the side and put that in there if you're making this recipe in the winter. Just do like maybe 5 or 6 little heirloom potatoes, and then you can just cube them up, either roast them or saute them, and then throw them in the dal at the end. But I think I'm going to keep things nice and light and easy. I have some rice going on the back burner as well as we get into making all the layers. I think it'll be really great to add rice to the bottom, and then you can put the dal on top. So have that going in the back burner. Just some brown rice, nothing major there. But you're welcome to top this on quinoa, or you can just have it plain. I've had it before on a bunch of kale and let the kale kind of wilt, and that's been yummy too. So whatever sounds most refreshing. I'm just adding some rice to the mix for a little bit more of a hearty meal tonight. This recipe is easy to freeze, so you can make a big batch of it and freeze it for postpartum. So that would be really nice for you to have, because there's ginger, turmeric, there is the cardamom, there's all the yummy spices in there are going to help you with warming the body, especially the ghee during postpartum. So we have our onion going, put that here. So you can use lots of different things, but a Sitz bath essentially is really great for after birth healing if you're dealing with hemorrhoids, if you're just dealing with soreness, if you're dealing with tears. And again, if you're approved for a Sitz bath, it's going to feel so, so good. And most times that's because your doctor or midwife sees that you definitely need this. You definitely need that type of healing. So you feel really soothing. It's a great like self-care time to just sit and recover and let your body just rest. And that kind of goes to what we were chatting about earlier about sometimes it's less of like the actual benefits of like what you're going to get out of it and more like how does it make you feel? Does it like mentally make you feel good? Sometimes that's more important than the physical benefits. It's just like the emotional, mental benefits. It might be the time that you can finally be alone with your thoughts. If you have multiple babies, it can be a time that you do some self-care. So there's so many amazing reasons why you could do a Sitz bath, but sometimes it just feels good to have that moment alone to rest and recover. Okay, we have our ginger. I just need to do a little shred really quick. I need to get one of those little kitchen gadgets for ginger eventually because I use so much ginger, but I'm just like so simple with kitchen stuff. I'm like, what little things can I purchase for my kitchen because I don't mind putting the hard work in it than having a bunch of stuff. I just don't want a bunch of stuff. Okay. And I've learned to be so adaptable in every single client's kitchen. Some have everything, some have nothing, some have in between. And so I've kind of just become adaptable to not having stuff, which is lovely. So I'm used to using whatever I have to make it work. We have all of our ginger. You could add more if you had more. I used up a lot of ginger this week. I have garlic, onions, I have my fennel and my cloves, and I have the cardamom, and then my rice is being made in the back. So we have that going, and then spinach is soaking real quick. I'm gonna grab the spinach and make sure it's chopped up and ready to go and put it right here. But all of this is gonna go in some ghee right now on the stovetop. While the dal is cooking, I wanted to chat with you all a little bit more about Sitz baths. So basically, to summarize everything, is Sitz baths are really up to your body, if it's right for you. Check in, see if that's good for you. Obviously ask your amazing dream birth team if you can do a Sitz bath. If you can, a basin like a pot, or we use something that's not plastic is going to be your best friend. But if you have to use plastic, then the ones that go into the toilet are going to be really great because you just set them in the toilet, you just rest inside them, and it feels so, so good. You want to use warm water, you can use just plain water, you could do Epsom salts, you could do lavender or chamomile Sitz bath blend. So something like that is going to be really soothing, and that's the whole point of it. And whether it's actually for physical benefits or for emotional, mental benefits, that's just really depends on what you're seeking. Anything, I feel like it's just a nice, peaceful, calm way to connect with your body when sometimes you can't get that clearance to do a bath just yet. If you had a C-section, then possibly you're thinking, I won't need a Sitz bath, but remember, you still bleed for that first 6 weeks regardless of how your birth turned out. So, it feels really good to soak in that area. It's going to feel sore, just really irritated. And what I really love is because you can't take a bath for the first 6 weeks most of the times or longer with this incision, you could do a Sitz bath, and that can be so healing because it's like you're doing a nice warm bath, but just for that specific area. So lots of things to think about there, but I find sitz baths to be so healing. If that's not your jam, then you could try vaginal steaming, and bee steaming can be really helpful as well. Let's try this beautiful dal and see how it is. So much coconut, it smells divine. And feel free to add the salt and pepper too, but I just add a little bit of sea salt here and there. Okay, let's try it. Wow. And this is going to freeze so well. It was so delightful and so yummy. I hope that you're able to give that recipe a shot and try it yourself. I thoroughly love that. I think that's going to be in the rotation for our family every week. Like, without a doubt, it's so healing and just feels so good on my digestion, and just makes my body feel full and energized but not heavy. And during postpartum, you really want things that are easy digestible and warming and healing, but at the same time keep you full for a while. And that can look like something so simple as this for a breakfast to start your day off. So many ways that you can play with this recipe. Feel free to write in the comments below what you did with this recipe, if you're going to make it or if you already have made it. Thank you so much for joining while we created this beautiful coconut spinach dal. I am such a huge fan of simple, easy, digestible meals like this with lentils. If you're not a fan of lentils, you can use chickpeas. I made this before with congee, that's great too. So just play around and see how you feel, but I am so happy that we could chat and hang out. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do that. Put your notifications on so you can see when I post. And also what's really fun is my August in general is going to be my sale month for my postpartum course. So at a lower price, which is really exciting. So it's a one-time 1-month sale that I'm having for you to enroll, and then enrollment will be closed through the fall. So this is your time to just jump in and enjoy all things postpartum. It's been updated, so that's exciting too. And I like to regularly update that course too. So anyways, thank you so much for hanging out, and I hope to talk to you soon.